Hello, my name is Adam Meaton. I'm 19 years old, I'm from Bridgend, and I'm currently in my second year of university studying journalism at the University of South Wales. By personal nature, I'm quite a curious person. I always want to know what's going on, and I always like to know a full story before I develop an opinion or feel like I'm entitled to create an opinion on a story. I like to pull at every thread, I like to pull and know the entire story and then be able to assess the situation. In comprehensive school, I studied three subjects for A level. I studied media studies, religious studies, and sociology. I did these subjects because I'm very interested in the way people are, how their belief systems work, and how society is driven by itself. I felt like these subjects would better help me understand the world of journalism as a starter journalist. I took RS because I like to know people's belief systems. I like to realize how people's minds work and why they choose to believe certain things. And also in my religious studies course, I did learn a lot about ethics and how people like to be treated and what people believe other people should be treated like as well. In media studies, I learned how the media industry works, how everything starts, and how to analyze media in a way where you can learn from it and then produce your own productions. My friends would describe me as quirky, I'd like to believe confident, probably a bit over intrusive, but that's just in the case that I like to know what's going on with my friends. I like to know everything that's happened. I'm one of those people that's just curious to the core about all subjects. My inspiration to become a journalist started when I started watching documentaries as a teenager. I would watch David Farrier, Dark Tourist on Netflix, and Louis Theroux, Stacey Dooley, Reggie Yates. I liked these journalists because they delved into the world of the dark and the taboo and the obscure, and they really got to the core of the subjects that they were investigating, and they would pull out a variation of people from society who otherwise would go unseen and unknown. A personal favourite episode of The Dark Tourist of mine follows David Farrier going into New Orleans to meet a group of individuals who identify themselves as vampires. It's very fascinating to see how their family dynamic would work. It would be interesting to see the activities that they partake in. I believe in one instance they actually drew blood from one of the members for one of the other members to be able to drink, which I found very odd, but in a way very fascinating, because it just shows the different ways people work in life. In the past, I've done a lot of work in retail. I started out working at McDonald's, where then after a few months of just doing the same thing over and over again, I decided to leave and pursue different career options. That led me to my first retail job in Moss Brothers. I enjoyed this job thoroughly because it gave me the opportunity to be able to meet people from different walks of life in different situations and then learn about them as a process to be able to then be able to show them what they needed. As a retail assistant, you sort of have the role of the gatekeeper that in media you already have, because you're able to guide people through your own, not biases, but your own opinion to be able to give them what best suits the item for them. This led me on to my next job at Billabong, which I worked for a few months, and it just helped me develop my social skills. There was a wide variety of people that entered the store. There was a large element of teamwork to me working there. I loved working there. It was a great experience, but unfortunately when I left for uni, I didn't have the time anymore. Since I've been at university, I've also started a job in Clogau Gold, Cardiff. This has given me an opportunity to learn a lot about the industry. It's helped me talk to a new generation of people who maybe before I never would have talked to. I get a lot of old people, a lot of people pre-engagement, a lot of people who are buying to commemorate a certain person, And that really sort of draws inspiration as you get to ask these people a lot of questions to guide them to the right thing for them. Again, it's like a gatekeeper role. I chose the University of South Wales because I was very keen to get down into the dirty when it comes to journalism. I didn't want to study the theory, although we do study theory in the University of South Wales. I wanted to learn how to get behind a camera and be able to film someone and know exactly what to do. Through this, I've learned how to operate cameras, microphones. I've learned how to conduct an interview, how to find people worth interviewing. A few favourite interviews of mine is the owner of Pleasure Park on Barry Island, the travel cabinet member for Cardiff, Cara Wilde. A lot of interesting people who otherwise I wouldn't have met, and they have great stories to tell. When I was signing up for universities, I had two choices. I could either go to the University of South Wales, or I had an offer from the University of Cardiff. I chose the University of South Wales because I looked at other people's reviews, and journalism in the University of Cardiff was very theoretical. It came with studies of culture and different areas and subjects which I wasn't entirely interested in. I was more interested in the practicality of it all, getting down to the dirty and being able to film my own shoot and being taught that from the start instead of learning about someone else's views. Since I've been in university, I've learned about a range of subjects that I don't think I would have ever learned about anywhere else. I've learned how to conduct an interview, the framing of interviews. The way I'm framing this shot right now is because I've been taught to frame interviews in a certain way, and I'm conducting it as if I'm the interviewee and there's someone behind the camera conducting the interview to me. I've learned about lighting, sound, different equipment, different journalists throughout the years. I'd probably say one of my best not so good subjects was public affairs, because again, that's learning about different people not conducting journalism the way I would like to conduct journalism. Although a subject that I find very interesting is journalism studies and journalism and society, which I find very interesting because you get to learn how different journalists through the years have developed their methods in different ways and different prospects in order to get a good story. I feel like what I've learned in the university will largely benefit me in the future. I wish to be able to go on and study and then learn and produce documentary style media. The different camera shots, the different microphone, all of this different, the learning about the equipment be very helpful. The learning about previous journalists in the past who have conducted documentary style media is very helpful, and just learning all these different segments of the journalistic world will help me to get into the position that I want to be. I have two different plans to which I can get to the stage of documentary style media that I would like to be participating in. The first plan is, in hoping that I get good grades for the next 2 years, I would like to study documentary media at USW for a master's, and from there on apply myself to different employers who may be in the market and looking for some new creative blood in order to make some new documentaries. Failing this, I would like to either other than this, a different path that I would like to go down is shadowing current documentary presenters and producers and getting a larger knowledge of how the industry works. I would like to be able to go onto a set, see how everything is filmed, get to know the presenters and the way their mind works, and be able to get that instinct on how to ask the right questions and when to ask them, and how to lead an interview to get the answer that you want in the end. 5 years from now, I would like to be working on a set somewhere filming a documentary, probably not on the pay wage that I would like, but as leveling out the groundwork to be able to build my career for the future. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. Thank you very much.